Good afternoon, everybody. It's another beautiful day. The league, we just completed the fantasy draft. For all the fans out there that were waiting anxiously for this, it is over. We all have come and we all have conquered the draft in our own respect. I'm joined by more than the colleagues that are normally on this podcast. I've got three other guests. Let's start with the first one, Robert. Why don't you introduce yourself and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. My name is Robert, like you had said. I'm here for the second time now in this esteemed league, and I'm looking forward to talking with you fine gentlemen here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And newest guest to the program, Matthew Gibson. Welcome.
Thanks, Kip. Glad to be here. Just real quick, I want to say this podcast is brought to you by Purdue Athletics. Not really good. I will be receiving compensation for that plug. And now we can move on because we're gonna have a big football season coming on. So they're really advertising.
And our commish, welcome back to the program.
Yep, glad to be here.
He introduces the person who's on it all the time before the actual third guest. That's Kim. King.
Let's welcome the biggest Jayhawk fan that is out there, Bobby. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to getting my team dissected by all of you and telling me how much it sucks. So thank you.
Did you finish your Madden game, Bob?
I know. I have 6 seconds left.
Maybe put it on pause here.
That's on pause.
That's great.
All right, and then our last, since the jump, colleague, Mr. Andrew Price.
Yeah, a lot of people starting to throw around the, you're the godfather of this podcast. You can take it as you may. I'll accept the term but it's a team effort, and you guys all play a very big part, and I appreciate all the work everyone's done week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team. This is a team podcast. It can't be done by one man and one man alone. It takes a heart and blood to make this podcast happen. But
Kim, I kind of quit this when I listen to, just to also clear this up, I don't really listen to the podcast that much because I just don't want to give you the satisfaction of the view, Kib. That's what it really is. But if you're the blood of this podcast, we need to go get a checkup. That's all I'll say.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's coming in hot, boys.
I'm glad to be here. I have walked by Matt's room late in the night, and I hear my voice, and I'm thinking, wait a second, I'm not in this room. And then I think, oh, wait, it is the podcast. He has tuned in. I understand not wanting to give Kib the satisfaction, but at the same time, you can't really miss out on the content we put in week and week out. So I appreciate it all.
I try to go into incognito mode whenever I do it, just so there's no trail back to me.
Kib, I want to let you know I subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Probably the only subscriber, but
hey, there you go.
Millions of subscribers out there and thousands of millions of views per podcast. So Gibson, I'm assuming you're one of the thousands of millions views. But
you're right. It's negligible. I'm just a negligible viewer, but I like to. It's kind of like voting. I try to keep some. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm getting at.
All right, so moving on. Like I said, this is just going to be about the post-draft, what we think about our teams and other teams as well. Why don't we just start with our first guest, Robert? What are your thoughts about your team and how you drafted during this draft?
I thought the first 7 picks for me were pretty good. A lot of people passed idiotically on Ezekiel Elliott, and I happened to be the beneficiary, one of those words of that mistake. I think they're going to feed that dark thoroughbred, the ball a lot.
dark thoroughbred.
He is a dark human being, and he will get the ball a lot. Anyway, I don't know about my picks 8 to 15. Matt Jones, thank God Alfred Morris is gone finally. So he'll hopefully get the ball some more. Sterling Shepard, I heard good things about him. Eli Manning, I got him just in case of my man Russell Wilson going down. And then I got James Starks just as a handcuff for Eddie Lacy. So yeah, that's about it. think I drafted pretty decently, and I'm looking forward to the season. And for you guys ridiculing me here in the next 5 to 10 minutes about my team. So, fire away.
Yeah. So I got Robert's team up on my screen. Gibson, what are your kind of thoughts on how he drafted and what his future looks like in the league?
My thoughts on Robert?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm mid pulling up. Is there a way? There should be a way to like look at
Go
everyone's team, right?
Click on my team. Click on my screen right now on the podcast.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want my screen to be stuck on your screen the rest of the time, kid. With all due respect.
Well, it won't be. Just.
Oh, nice. Okay, you're sharing. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Lacy, Rob. I don't know if that was really a choice pick or if it just kind of came down. He was a top player, but never trust Eddie Lacy is one thing I've learned in fantasy. Except his fast food preferences.
That's why I got James. That's why I got Starks. Just puts on a little too much on the year. It's 250.
Yeah.
I got Starks.
I like Hauschka. Hauschka is a pass kicker of mine. He really treated me well. Matt Jones, I will say, I had last season when he had the just absurd week. I think he had like 30-some points, so that's enough Matt Jones for me, but I hope he maybe gives you a week like that and then just crushes your team the rest of the season. Hopefully you're not actually having to play him. Yeah, that's all I really got for thoughts on Robert's team, I guess. Looking at it, I wanted Randall Cobb. I think Randall Cobb's really going to have a good year, I guess.
Appreciate that.
Congrats, Robert. Congrats on the draft.
All right. Moving on. Kyle, just some thoughts on how our boy Robert drafted.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't trust the rookie, so that's why I didn't take him. And you may have gotten a gift that was 15 or 16, whatever it was. But I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't.
Yep, that's usually how it works. Bob, Robert, how did he draft?
Talking to me?
Yeah, Bob.
I like his team a lot. Probably the only question mark I have is Demaryius Thomas, just because quarterback situation. But I think the starting lineup might be as strong as anybody in the whole league.
Yeah, he's got a really good team. And Andrew, thoughts on his team?
Yeah, I've been on record within our personal group here that I think he's got the best team in the league, and I will say that again, and I'll be on record now. I will offer a trade, my whole team for Robert's whole team here pretty soon. I'm going to cross my fingers, hope he accepts. But I do think he's got the best team in the league. A lot of steals. A lot of people I passed up on barely, and then Robert picks up 6 picks later. I don't understand how that happens. I point to the people after me, and I say, what are you idiots thinking you're all morons? And they fall into Robert's lap, and he ends up with the stellar team that he does. So, yeah, that trade will be pending soon, Robert. Keep an eye out for it.
Well, yeah, I guess that's our first actual trade of the year, a legitimate one. But great team, Robert. Everybody kind of agreed that you did draft well, and I guess if that mattered, then you won the league in the beginning. Moving on, we'll go to Gibson's team. What was Gibson? Jake Cuddy. That's right. All right. So Gibson.
Yeah. Hey. Just real quick also, to clear up the name.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, so the first year we had the podcast, it was Jay Cuddy's MVP season was my name. And then last year, it was Jay Cuddy's something. I don't even remember. It was another Jay Cuddy. Now I'm just kind of, the team in parentheses is just kind of me bumping my expectations down to maybe he'll be the team MVP. But I didn't want to. It's still MVP since the team's in parentheses, but I'm just tempering my expectations.
All right.
But moving on. Yeah, so my team, I mean, starting off the top, I like Mr. Bortles. I think he's going to have a good season. Their running game is pretty trash, so I'm hoping he throws the ball a lot. Lamar Miller, I heard one time this past week that he was going to be good, so I drafted him. That pretty much goes for my whole team. I will say, Gronk, I said it earlier. I like stability at my tight end position. Stability is not the right word, Kyle. Maybe you're right. I just like good production. If he's there, it's going to be good production because a tight end is just it's an integral part of fantasy football success. All of you guys know that because you're fantasy football experts. But for all the listeners out there that don't know, that's really all I got. I guess this guy Chris Hogan. Excuse me. Chris Hogan, some Patriots, little white guy on the Patriots. They've been known to have success. So
whoa! Watch the W word. Watch the
W. Yeah. Also saw him on SportsCenter this week, so I figured I'd pick him up. But basically, yeah. So not too much strategy behind my game, but I think it's going to pay off.
Your pick with Gronk. That's exact. You went right before me in the draft. That's exactly who I wanted. So
yeah, you drafted him last year, correct?
Yeah, I drafted him in the second round, whatever. But yeah, he's the best. That's why I wanted him as well. But
yeah, I agree.
Kyle Gibson, what are your thoughts on his draft?
Well, I just want to go on record and say that if all of us talk about every team in the league, this is going to take.
I know, dude. I was gonna say, with all due respect, kid. I mean, we're gonna be here for fucking
an hour and a half. Maybe keep our summaries to 10 to 15 seconds at the most.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it looks like a good team.
You'd
Jeremy
like
Hill's,
that, wouldn't you, Robert? Because you got all your time.
I have to go, so yeah.
Jeremy Hill screwed me last year, so I really hope he doesn't fare better for you. But yeah, other than that.
You don't hope that. You don't actually hope he doesn't.
That's all I got.
All right, Bob, thoughts on Gibson's draft?
I think it's a decent team. We'll see if Jeffrey can stay healthy the whole year, but I think it's a pretty good team.
And Andrew?
Yeah, real average team.
All right. Moving on to our commissions.
Sorry.
Without a name, he doesn't have a name yet for his team, but he still has a team.
He clearly has a name, and it's Team Luchkowski, but
okay.
If you can't read, that's fine.
That's fine. All right, Kyle, thoughts on your own team?
Not good. Made a horrible Carlos Hyde pick way too early. I will say my best pick was probably round 14, Christine Michael. He's got a chance to start for the Seahawks this year if whatever the other guy's name stays hurt. So that was probably my best pick, and I'll never play him. So that kind of sums up my team.
Bob?
Just a lot of depth. I don't see many, besides A.J. Green, I don't see many stars. Just a lot of depth on that team.
All right. Andrew?
Yeah. I'd say below average team.
All right. And Robert?
Yeah, I think lots of depth, especially at the wide receiver. He's got very good wide receivers. A.J. Green, Al Robinson, Brandon Cooks, probably the best wide receiver trio out there. Yeah. Running backs very questionable and quarterback questionable. But I would say above average team.
And Matthew Gibson?
Yeah, I was gonna, I was scrolling down looking. I don't know when you took him, Kyle, but I like the Josh Gordon pick.
Yeah.
Kyle, you've always been a pretty big weed guy, so I understand the pick. But moving on, yeah, I like that pick. And there's something else caught my eye. Oh, Allen Robinson. I see a lot of touchdowns to him from my guy Blake. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, good team, Kyle. Like I said, you had pick 10, and I wanted that, and so you kind of benefited from the back-to-back picks. Moving on to Bob.
Hey, Kip, real quick. This podcast is also brought to you by Copenhagen Mint. It's a great brand, and if you guys want to send some free product, then I will gladly take that. That's my plug.
Good plug. We need those. Moving on to Bobby. Bobby, your team. Quick thoughts on your team and how you thought you drafted.
Like I said in our group chat, on my first pick, I kind of got nervous I get down to the last second. I just took Devontae Freeman. I don't know if he can follow up his big year last year with another big year, but I think my team's all right. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not impressed with it, but it's all right.
Andrew, your thoughts on Bobson?
Yeah, I'll go a little bit further in depth when I say completely average. Keenan Allen has no spleen, so don't know how that's going to work out. Hoping Devontae Freeman gets hurt early because I got his backup. Trying to hamstring Bob there like I do. Bob drafting Scamtown Newtown early. Won't say why it's surprising, But knowing Bob, people who know Bob will know why that's a very, very questionable pick. So I would say very average team.
If he produces, I don't care.
All right.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't care? What part do you not care about?
All right, moving on. Robert, thoughts on Bobby's team?
I like the DeMarco Murray pick up late for a running back. I think he's gonna have a better year, but very questionable decision to have Decker and Brandon Marshall on your team.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, and it kind of perplexes me. But I would say average. I mean, Devontae Freeman's gonna come back to normal. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
All right, and Gibson.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clarify that point that Andrew made. It's surprising because Bob's a racist, and then he took Cam Newton pretty early. So, Bob, I'm glad you're getting over these bad ideas you have in your mind. So, I look forward to the new Bob this year.
Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, Kib, you said before the draft started that Bob doesn't know how to draft and he'll choke. And, I mean, he just said it with the Devonta Freeman pick. I mean, he got scared. He did the wrong thing.
Right. I mean, like you said, wait until the last second. You can't do that in these drafts. All right, moving on to Andrew's team. His team is regretting my commish vote. I don't know if he still regrets that, but
right here.
All right, Andrew, your thoughts on your own team and how you did?
Yeah, very disappointing draft. I got Danny Woodhead, so I got a lot of grit on my team. Looking at my team now on paper, though, it actually looks pretty good. I was a lot more down on it than I am now. We'll see what Golden Tate does. I think he'll make or break me this year.
All right, Robert, thoughts on Andrew's team?
Yeah, I like the team. I just don't know who's going to be throwing Dez Bryant the ball, a guy with a broken back or a rookie. So I don't know how I feel about Dez.
Rookie, hey, one thing I will say, rookies lean on stars.
That's
You don't want to anger the stars, so I think I'm actually hoping that it is Dak because he's like, ooh, I don't want to make Dez angry at me. Here's 15 targets a game. That's what I'm hoping.
But are they going to be into the turf, thrown into the turf, or into hands?
They'll probably be into the defense's hands, but they'll be there.
Yeah.
All right, Gibson, thoughts on Andrew's team?
Yeah, I've been staring at your roster for about the past 30 seconds, and I really have nothing to say. So all I will say is, me and Andrew, we're going to go out tonight probably. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to go out on the town, and hopefully we have a good night, and that's pretty much just trying to talk things into existence, boys. So that's all I have to say on that.
All right. And Kyle, your thoughts on Andrew's team?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the running backs work out. I'm not a huge David Johnson fan. I know a lot of people are high on him, and Latavius Murray was average last year, so I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Yep. Bob?
Wow.
I really like the Amari Cooper pick. He literally picked him right before I was going to pick him, so I'm kind of jealous of that. But I like his receivers, but I agree with Kyle. The running backs are kind of iffy, but
My running backs will stick their big 12-inch you-know-whats into your mouth and talk bad about them again.
Good. You have a pretty good team. I do like the Big Ben pick too. I feel like he's going to have a big year and a lot of grit when it comes to Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead might be the leader in points in your team. All right, moving on to my team. Alrighty.
Turn off that bullshit.
My fault. All right,
Bob, you might want to go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You
I
can.
was just going to, Bob, you might want to flip on the Cubs game right now. They're poised for a comeback. You might enjoy that.
Get it.
I'll get the channel, so I'm sorry.
All right. Just my quick thoughts. I don't mind my team. I wanted Derek Carr as a quarterback, and I got stuck with Tyrod Taylor. That was probably the biggest mistake I made. But we'll see how that goes. I don't think quarterbacks are that big of a deal in this league, so we'll see where that ends up. But Robert, your thoughts on my team?
Yeah, I think this is the worst team I've seen on paper yet. I don't know. Lots of your wide receivers are either going to make 5 catches for 120 yards and 2 TDs, or not going to catch a pass all game. I feel like I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I don't like it though. I don't like it.
All right, Gibson.
Oh man. Well, I had LeGarrette Blount last year, and he had a couple games where he must have gotten some 2-yard red zone carries. So I thought he was actually good, but I'll tell you right now, he's not good. So congratulations on that pick. And Kevin White, hopefully Kevin White makes his way from your bench to the starting lineup this year for.
Yeah, being a Bears fan, you'd hope.
Yeah, being a Bears fan. So,
all right.
I guess that's all I got.
Yeah. The commission, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously gets a lot better when Le'Veon gets in the lineup, but I mean, there's not much there to be desired. I mean, I know, and I say that, but I know that it won't last because you'll propose like 17 trades by the night's end, and somebody will take one. So with your team, it's never the same. So.
Yeah. Usually when I draft, my team doesn't look the same as when I drafted it. But Bob, what do you think of my team?
I'm going to echo what Robert said. I think this is the worst team on paper. I really, really don't like your running backs at all. I know Jonathan Stewart had a good year for him last year, but I don't believe in him at all. And then other than that, I hate your team. It sucks.
That's all right. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And Andrew?
I don't know what's more disappointing, your current roster or the fact that you called on Robert and Bob before me, because I was going to say the same thing. Your team is an absolute dumpster fire. If I had the GIF right now, I would put it over my face so that's all you could see as a dumpster literally on fire, and that's what we call your roster. But like Matt said, I just have to echo everyone here, besides Kyle, and say that your team will look totally... Oh, no, that was Kyle. Your team will look totally different in a couple of weeks unless people have their head on their shoulders and know when you see a Kib trade come through, you press decline and you don't even read that thing.
I just want to say Kib was ripping on me for not knowing how to draft, and he has the worst team so far. So
if Kib can survive the first 4 weeks, though, going 2-2, he'll be in an okay position with Le'Veon Bell coming back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody's opinion on my team. Moving on to the next.
You don't.
We'll just move on to the first pick in the draft. It was Hutch's team. Got to catch Jamal Charles. How do you guys do with the very first pick? Let's start with you, Andrew.
The very first pick, who'd he take? Antonio Brown. His team looks better than yours, but other than that, not better than anyone else's.
Okay. Bob?
I like his team. I like his running backs. I really like the Tom Brady pick. I think that will come back and help him a lot. I think it's a pretty decent team.
Horrible analysis from Bob there. Couldn't disagree more.
Kyle?
So I like Tom Brady, but like you're not losing that much when you have Drew Brees in there. So it's, I mean, yeah, you can probably trade, but
use him as like a trade chip and
yeah, trade him. But with the first pick, I don't know who else I would have taken other than Brown. I mean, I don't know. That was probably the only choice I would have had. So, it's whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Gibson?
Yeah, to kind of echo what Kyle said, with Tom Brady and Drew Brees on your team, I think Brees is a pretty viable quarterback, pretty viable option. So there's going to be trades to be had down the line. So everyone take a look now.
Kim has probably already offered 3 trades.
Yeah. Robert, what do you think of the first pick in the draft?
Lots of tight ends on the roster. Jesus. Witten, Graham, and
yeah,
lots of tight ends. I don't know if he knows that we're playing in a one tight end league, which is pretty standard across the board, I think.
I wanted Jimmy Graham, to be honest. I was going to pick him.
Quarterbacks. I don't know how I feel about McCoy and Ingram. Decent art. I don't know. He's got a fine team. Seahawks. He drafted 2 defenses back to back, which is very, very interesting. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's did most of his stuff, like the Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and the 2 defenses. Those are 2 pretty good defenses for the trading aspect. I think that's what he's looking for. So we'll see if anybody wants to give into that, but we'll see how that works out for him. I don't know.
I think I think that Mary Beth drafted those for him. Be like, hey, Hutch, I'm going to draft 2 defenses in a row. We're going to leverage some picks down the line. I'm going to get 2 quarterbacks for you, and we're going to use ththose to leverage sales down the line. And that's a Mary Beth move now.
Yeah. I wish Megan would have drafted mine, but maybe I could have done better. But moving on, we'll move on to the next person. I guess it was his name is My Year. Used to be a weekly colleague on this podcast. He will not be named. However, how did My Year, his team, draft? Robert, why don't we start back out with you? How do you think Eric drafted?
I don't know. I think he's right up there with you, Kib.
That's good.
He reached for that quarterback, which is like a cardinal rule not to do. I don't know.
That's an essential Pluto move.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't know. I don't feel C.J. Anderson sucks a load of camel dick. You can never trust C.J. Anderson, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Gibson?
Yeah, my only thoughts on Plute's team, without even looking at his roster, is it's going to be tough for Eric to really maintain his roster and really be focused on the league when he's working 84-hour weeks and drinking beers. So.
And Snapchatting
Basically by week.
Yeah, it'll be tough. That's multitasking. That's gonna be.
Should we establish a handicap for Plute or something, like a 20-point handicap?
Kyle.
Yeah, I know Robbie says it's a stretch for Aaron Rodgers, but to be honest, I'm surprised he waited till the third round to take Aaron Rodgers.
You guys know my year more than I do, so that's
yeah. But yeah, a lot to be desired here. I mean, his receivers are garbage. His best player is probably Derrick Henry. So.
Yeah, Kip, I want to renege on my statement. This is the worst team I've ever seen in fantasy football. So,
hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
You got the second worst.
Okay.
Real quick, Robert, spell renege.
I would like to do that off air.
No, it's not. All right. It was a test, and you failed.
Mr. Norrell, how do you think my year drafted?
I only like one player on his whole team. That's Gurley. I mean, you guys are gonna rip on me for this, but I wanted to pick Will Fuller. But it's whatever.
That sounds about right. Andrew, your thoughts on our former colleagues' draft?
Before I tee off on Plute and his decisions, Bob just put himself on a tee with his whole Will Fuller comment, and I'm going to go ahead and blast that one out of the park. Classic Notre Dame homer who doesn't really know anything, and he's blinded by, fighting Irish glory. Let's go. Here comes Notre Dame. Play like a champion today. You're going to play like a scumbag every day if you have that mentality. But now to Plute.
Never say it's going to be good.
Yeah, okay. Well, now to Plute. I got to echo what Gibson says. Got it, the 84-hour work weeks. I mean, he really nailed it on the head there. Great analysis. About his team, it's about as bland as a bowl of Raisin Bran cereal in the morning, and we all know how that tastes. So we'll move on.
Yep. Like Kyle said, the Aaron Rodgers pick. It was 2 rounds too late. I thought coming from Aaron. Yeah, good draft. We'll see how it runs out for him. Moving on, we'll go to. Robert,
one thing I will say, hold on. By my year, if he means Robert's year, then I agree that he has got a great team name that's spot on. But he definitely needs to change that if that's not what he's going for.
All right. Moving on. Robert, to your roommate's team. Why don't we just start back up with you? How do you think your roommate drafted?
I don't know. I hate Coby Fleener as a tight end pick. That was.
Yeah.
My language on air through our thousands of millions of but I absolutely, Coby Fleener, I saw him play for the Colts for about 5 years, and he runs about a 5.040. So I don't know. Wide receivers are pretty good. Sammy Watkins, hard to trust, but fine team. Better than Pludes and Kibbs.
All right. Gibson, your thoughts on Mr. Henry's team?
I don't know. Mike has a pretty shitty team, it appears, but I just witnessed Jason Hayward driving a run, so anything could happen. Mike could really turn this team around and maybe get a figurative RBI in the league this season.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. If the Cubbies can do it, then I guess Mike can do it. Kyle, thoughts on your old roommate team?
Yeah, I think the only chance for success that he needs Andrew Luck to have a phenomenal year, and God knows if that's going to happen. So. I think that's really the only chance he has for success. If Andrew Luck did last year, his team's garbage.
You're trying to pull a little reverse psychology for Andrew Luck. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Fuck you, Kim.
Your thoughts on Michael Henry's team?
Bob.
I don't know. I'm not a big Andrew Luck fan. I think it's a high risk, high reward. I think he's going to throw some touchdowns, maybe throw a lot of interceptions in the process. I think kind of a nice little sleeper pick was Marcus Wheaton because Martavis Bryant's gone. So, I mean, I'm not. Seems all right.
Yeah. Andrew, your thoughts on Mr. Henry's draft?
Yeah, I think his team's pretty bad. I love Mike to death, but his team is really, really bad. Too many Colts players. Andrew Luck being high risk, high reward. We're all gamblers here, so we respect the pick. But yeah, Kobe Fleener, the Echo Robert, I get called on last every time, so I'm echoing people, it seems like, every single time I speak. But Kobe Fleener might be one of the worst picks I've ever seen, and I feel bad for Mike. But he's also drafting for Robert. He's on record of saying that, and Robert is the front runner, so he might be selling Robert his picks. He's got a history of collusion, and people like me, I'm the only one here who can speak to it. I respect Robert's grind. But yeah, Mike might have ulterior motives when it came to who he drafted and why he did it.
Yeah. Mike, he always starts every year. He always seems to start out strong, and then kind of fade away in the end. The only thing I didn't like about Mike's team was he picked D'Angelo Williams right before I needed him, and because I had Le'Veon Bell. But yeah, his not too strong of a team for Mike once again. And then moving on to our last player in the league.
Who's getting all the Google Hangouts messages, by the way?
Not me. Moving on to the last person in our league, the other guy, Mr. Joe Gramsci. Andrew, why don't we start with you this time around? What do you think of the other guy's team?
His team looks pretty good. Now looking at it for the first time, don't really know who's always running this team. It's always a wild card. It could be some random person in Indianapolis. Could be Joe. Could be Joe's mom. Could be Joe's dad. Could be someone Joe knows. You never really know. So I don't know how they're going to run the team, but on paper it looks pretty decent.
And that's where the game's played. Bobby, thoughts on the other guy's team?
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. I think it's a pretty good team, especially when Eifert comes back. There'll be a lot of touchdowns. So, yeah,
there's the Notre Dame bias coming in fresh, fighting Irish.
16 touchdowns last year. What do you mean?
He had to put some CFB into this podcast, but anyways.
I didn't say anything. I just said it's going to be a lot of touchdowns.
Anyways, moving on. Mr. Commish, what do you think of the previous year's Commish's draft?
I see a lot of guys with injury. I mean, Adrian Peterson's getting old. Jamal Charles is injured. Seems like every other week. Jordy Nelson's coming back. Tyler Eifert, I think he doesn't have as good of a season even when he does come back. I mean, it was unreal last year, so I don't think he puts that much, but a lot of chance for injury here, so we'll see.
Gibson, how's that Copenhagen treating you?
It's fine. Maybe I'll get a Starbucks plug in here soon.
We need one more.
Yeah, I got one for the end. But yeah, I mean, my only thoughts were, looking at Eifert, that's what stuck out to me, and I can personally guarantee that he's going to suck this year. I don't know why, but he did. He gave all of his fruitfulness to my team last year with all those touchdowns, red zone touchdowns. It's not going to happen again, and I'm glad he's not on my team.
All right, Mr. Mishler, what are your thoughts on the other guy's team?
Lots of running back depth. I don't know if he knows Tyler Eifert's out till week 4 or 5. I don't know. Julius Thomas, not a bad backup. I don't know. It's a fine team. Pretty old though, like you said. Jordy Nelson ACL, Jamal Charles ACL, Adrian Peterson ACL. I don't know. We'll see. Lots of torn shit on that team.
Yeah, the only thing I had on his team was Doug Baldwin had a breakout last 7 games last year. I don't know if he can sustain that this year.
Yeah.
He might as well just change his team name to the ACLs or something like that because, like you said, he's got a lot of guys that were injured off the same injury. But that's everybody's, name or league. How they drafted. Any other thoughts you guys want to give out to the fans out there before we put down this segment?
Yeah, I don't know if you were more excited to have the league start or to get your face back on camera because you were sharing your screen all day. But it should be a good year, and I'm looking forward to crowning Robert, our new member of the champion, based on what I see so far. But it should be exciting, and we'll pretend that it's competitive until the end, and then when he wins, we can replay this tape and say, wow, Andrew, you know Nostradamus? And I'll say, no, I'm just a guy who knows what he's talking about.
All right. Bob, closing thoughts?
Got nothing here.
All right. That sounds about right for a Jayhawk.
It really does sound about right. We're not talking about Notre Dame, so Bob has nothing to really say.
All right, Mish, what do you think of the closing thoughts?
Well, they say you can't win your league with your draft, but you can definitely lose it. So, Eric, Kib, just remember that.
All right, Gibson?
Yeah, no, real thoughts. Thanks for, I appreciate having me on as the head of the podcast. I'd like to maybe establish another podcast, Robert.
Yeah,
Maybe
Andrew. I was gonna take you up on that. We could take some of these thousands of millions of subscribers and pull them up. We could fill them all.
Kib has a monopoly on the fucking, what's our league even called now? Dirty Mike and the Boys still?
Yeah.
Kib has a monopoly on this audience, but
Andrew, if you want to be a part of our podcast, we were willing.
yeah,
to do
but Kib, with all the, I did thank you, but expect another podcast as competition to this one in the near future.
Kib, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you had any stones in your pants right now, you would have muted that conversation real quick.
I will. No, I'll say I just think
millions.
There's too many of us, and there's too many of us for one podcast, and I'll say I was a little jealous. That's why I don't watch the podcast, because I was never on. I don't want any jealousy going around and creating any rifts in the league. So I just think there should be multiple. I enjoy sharing the stage with you, Kib. I think you're an average host, but you could use some more advertising prowess that was brought to the table today. But
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the season. So.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gibson. I appreciate all your comments.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on any closing thoughts before we close out this podcast?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Like everyone else has said, I'm looking forward to competing in this league. And it's like Matt, my good sir, Matt Gibson over there was reading my fucking mind, because I would love to be on a podcast with that guy right there. Dude, he stands for everything that I stand for: Bears, Cubs. Just a great sports fan, a great mind, and that's all I got.
Why don't you take his dick out of your mouth next time you start talking?
Hey, give me 2 more minutes.
Rob's right here, man.
All right, here we go. We're getting the late night version of the podcast.
Good to go.
All right, Gibson, you have any last plugs you want to say?
Yeah, so this podcast was brought to you by Bicycle. They make cards, and cards, as we know, are used in gambling, and we all love gambling. So everyone go buy a stack of bicycles, and maybe we'll get lucky.
All right, thank you. But also, I guess our last point is it was brought to you by the United States of America. I guess we should all appreciate that as well. For all of our fans, send in all those tweets about who they thought had the best draft as for us.
And the best podcast performance. Just.
Hey, Kib, you should put a
1 through 6.
plug in for the. Kib, you should put a plug in for the Twitter page, because I don't think anyone on this podcast, besides a few people, know what the Twitter page is.
Oh, we know about it.
Oh, we know about it. There's.
It's for the troops. It's always been for the troops.
Yeah, the troops, Rod. The American flag, the troops. Come on. But yeah, everybody for joining us, and we'll see you hopefully in a couple weeks after week 1 concludes.